think you better than battle me? If you really with it, then battle me. Just battle me. If you think you better than battle me.
The Safari has a special place in my heart. My very first driving adventure as a motoring journalist was with the Safari. The Run of Kutch, the Northeast, Ladakh, all were discovered while driving the Safari. The Safari and adventure are two sides to the same coin, which is why when we got hold of this Safari, exclusive access to the Red Dark edition that we first saw at the Auto Expo, that was the cue to pack up my bags and to use the Safari's iconic tagline, "Reclaim your life." And we will do this while exploring the region around the Radhanagari Dam. The Radhanagari Dam behind me, that is over a century old. It was built in 1907 by the visionary ruler of the then princely state of Kolhapur, Chhatrapati Rajashri Shahu Maharaj. The dam is responsible for supplying drinking water to Kolhapur. It supplies hydroelectric power, and it is the reason why Kolhapur has a flourishing agriculture and jaggery industry. The roads are fabulously scenic. It just takes your breath away. These days, we are stuck to fast national highways or expressways, but a winding state highway that cuts through a forest, it's such a rare treat. But the conditions are an absolute mix, and that's where the Land Rover derived Omega Arc architecture really comes into its own. The ride quality is phenomenal. You don't have to slow down for broken patches. In fact, the faster you go, the better it becomes, and you just thunder over everything. Then there is the handling and the stability. It covers ground with such authority, with that sense of confidence that is unparalleled. And it's backed up by the 2-liter diesel engine that has now been upgraded to meet the upcoming BS 6.2 emission norms. And despite the additional emission controlling equipment, the power remains the same, torque remains the same, 170 PS, that's 168 bhp, and 350 Newton meters of torque. Tata Motors have also used this opportunity to upgrade the software, so they claim that it has got better performance at higher altitudes. What I definitely notice is that this transmission, the 6-speed automatic transmission, it shifts smoother. Now, I've always been a fan of this transmission, and I've said that this engine and transmission is very well suited to each other. It just feels that wee bit better now. So there have been mechanical improvements as well. In fact, Tata Motors is also so confident about this drivetrain that they've increased the warranty by 1 year. So now it is 3 years and 100,000 kilometers. Wow, this is a great driving road. And in the Safari, you sit high up, you have good handling, good body control. You can really go down these roads at a fair clip, and it's great fun. Now, I know these red interiors are probably catching your eye, but before I talk about the interiors, I must stop and talk about the exterior. Styling is personal, I grant you that, but I've always been a fan of the Safari styling. It is suitably muscular, nice, bold, upright stance. It is distinctive, that's for sure. This, of course, is the Dark Edition. All black, so cool, completely gangster. Of course, all other manufacturers are doing special edition black variants, and that's why Martin Nolarik, the design head at Tata Motors at the Auto Expo, he told me that now Tata Motors are evolving their dark editions, and this is the first evolution of that. That's something unique. Starts with this deep red interiors. Now, it might not be to everybody's taste, but I love it. It reminds me of sports cars that I lusted after when I was young. So I love this black on the outside, red on the inside with these red seats, red accents, red mood lighting for the sunroof, red mood lighting out here with the door handles and the door grabs. I think it looks very cool. Now, I must point out, captain seats in the middle row, they are excellent to be chauffeured around in. Very supportive, very comfortable, and these seats are also cooled. You get an armrest. This is also called the theater seating, so you are sitting a little higher up than the front seat, so you get a nice view of the road ahead. Like I said, a huge panoramic sunroof. You have these cubbies to put your phone if you're charging it out there. You have a USB-A and a USB-C slot, and for the left passenger you have these boss mode buttons. So using these buttons you can tip the seat forward, you can slide it forward electrically. So to drive, Safari is very good. To be driven around in, also very good, but we prefer driving. So we'll jump into the front seat now. The driver gets comfort access seats. So the seat slides back into the position that it was in before you switched off the car. These are things that we saw on high-end Mercs, and now it is filtering down to SUVs like the Safari that you and me can afford. That's the pace of technology progress. The seats also, they are power operated. Both the driver as well as the passenger seat, they are ventilated. They got this nice cool red color. I must point out the infotainment. Now this is 10.25 inches wide, so it is nice and wide. You can use it while you are on the move, no problem. But there is a ton of functionality on it. Before I talk about that, I must always belt up. So even if it's stationary, always belt up. Okay, back to the infotainment. Now you have these widgets, which is something that we've seen on premium luxury cars, and these widgets are customizable. You have an air purifier. The air is pretty good where we are right now. We are out of the city. There is Apple CarPlay, Google Android Auto, both wireless. You have a wireless charging pad out here, and you also have USB-A and USB-C charging points for all 3 rows. So everybody has a charger. There are also these nifty little pockets where you can put in your phone, so your phone is not dangling all over the place. You obviously have your audio modes, your aircon mode. But what's important is that the Safari, the Red Dark, now gets ADAS, and there's a lot of functionality in the ADAS. So you go into the settings menu, driver assistance, and you have all the ADAS functionality. The first, of course, is forward collision warning. So you can set it to just the warning, an audible warning, or the warning plus autonomous emergency braking, where the car brakes for you if you do not see or if you missed an obstacle that is in your path. Or you can switch it off completely if you don't want it to interrupt your driving flow. Then you have traffic sign recognition, high beam assist. The Safari has got very good headlamps. High beam assist prevents you from blinding the person in front of you. We have lane departure warning, cross traffic alert. So cross traffic alert is when you're reversing out, and if there's a car in your blind spot, you haven't seen it, the Safari will warn you about something that is coming at you. Door open alert, blind spot detection, and lane change alert. It also has a blind spot camera. So I've got my left indicator on, the left camera has come on, right indicator on, right camera has come on. You have rear collision warning, so stick it into reverse, and if there's something in there, it warns you. And in fact, speaking about the cameras, just look at the resolution. The resolution is really good, and the Safari Red Dark also gets a 360 camera. The button for the 360 cameras is out here next to the drive mode selector, and then you have a 3D view, a 2D view. You can see your sides, you can see your edges, you can customize the views. So that's the 360 camera. You have wireless charging, like I mentioned. You have a digital cluster, and your driver assistance features like your lane departure warning also shows up on the digital cluster, and you have your blind spot warning on the wing mirrors, which flashes. So the whole load of ADAS features that have now been integrated on the Safari, all of it works well, and if you don't like ADAS interfering with your driving, you can switch it all off completely. The Harman music system sounds really good. 4 speakers, 4 tweeters, 1 subwoofer, and the sound space has been tuned by JBL. When you see a gravel track that heads off into the woods, with the Safari, you put it into the rough road mode, it adjusts the ESP and the power delivery, makes it a little bit more aggressive, gives you all the torque, all the power, and you can really attack these dirt trails. The underpinnings, they feel so solid, so robust. This is a proper SUV. It's not a car with raised suspension. It just attacks these things like a beast. You can hammer over them with ease. There is enough and more traction. great suspension compliance, just thunder over everything. Attacking dirt trails with a Safari is a huge amount of fun. And what a brilliant way to end this drive. The Safari is now cooler, it's more desirable, it has all the bells and whistles, but at its core, it still lets you reclaim your life.